test. Yeah.
An enthusiastic welcome for Year 10s who are waiting to be tested for COVID at this secondary school in Nottingham.
Once you sanitise your hands over to the yellow line.
It's a huge ask of teachers. 900 students here will each need to be tested 3 times under the government's new guidelines for reopening schools in England next week. And so, like many others, they're having to start testing early to meet that target. In the queue, we meet 15-year-old Ashley Crossley. Are you nervous?
Yes, very nervous.
What's it been like homeschooling then in lockdown?
Very much chaotic. with all my siblings downstairs, we've all had to take live lessons at the same time.
So you're happy to be tested because you feel that it's what will allow you to go back to school?
Yeah, I really think it's important.
How do you feel about getting tested?
Embarrassed, because you have to stick something in your nose in front of everyone.
So it's a bit embarrassing, not very nice. But you've still come to do it though?
Yeah, I know, but obviously safety and that, isn't it?
The school has had to ask its staff to volunteer to run this testing site in what was the dining hall.
We're just here to do a bit, really.
And it's had to hire 6 agency staff at a cost of £6,000, which the government will reimburse. And yet the testing isn't compulsory. The government has told us that this type of testing is meant to provide greater reassurance to parents and to teachers and their staff that it's safe to open up schools again next Monday. But when the head teacher of this school wrote to parents to get their consent, she found that nearly 50% didn't want their children tested.
So we had this information from one parent that seems to be from some sort of anti-vax organisation.
Head teacher Sarah Bailey told me parents are citing several reasons, including wider concerns about the vaccine, the unpleasantness of taking the lateral flow test, or its reliability.
There's nothing we can do to make them take those tests. If they don't want their child to do that, then that's their right. But the uptake here is around 50%. I think that does make staff feel quite uneasy about a safe return to school.
The government's idea obviously was that everybody will be tested, you'll all feel safer, and yet actually that isn't happening.
I think it's quite flawed. I think, if everybody had consented, it would be a great plan. But I think with so few taking up the offer of the testing, I'm not convinced that for the amount of effort, time, money that's gone into it, that it's actually going to reap the rewards that we hope that it will.
Nearly 70% of children at the school qualify for the pupil premium, funding for the most disadvantaged. Other schools in similar areas are also reporting what's described as testing hesitancy.
I have schools in my constituency where only initially 20% of parents responded to the email. It just simply does not make sense to have an opt-in process rather than an opt-out one where a concerned parent can say, actually, no, I don't want my child tested.
Claire Bonsher has 2 children at the school and told me why she won't consent to either of them being tested.
My son has got ADHD and autism, as my oldest one, mainly because she'd seen it done and the thought of having it down her throat just made her feel poorly.
Have you tried explaining to your daughter, though, that it's for the greater good?
We have tried to explain to her, but her anxiety then just goes through the roof. She'd refuse point blank. And with teenagers, trying to get them to do anything at the best of times.
And one nostril?
The school's minister has said he hopes most students would volunteer to take the tests. How was that, Zach?
Very unpleasant.
It's not very nice, is it? But you managed it.
Yeah, it was kind of all right.
You're relieved it's over?
Yes, very much so.
And looking forward to coming back to school?
Yes.
But some head teachers believe the government guidance isn't clear enough, and they've warned of testing anarchy over the next few weeks. Darshna Soni, Channel 4 News, Nottingham.